Hello everyone and welcome to the lecture on AWS Data Migration Service. So this lecture will contain all these topics. What is AWS Data Migration Service? Simplifying data migration with AWS DMS. Tasks involved in a migration project. High level overview of AWS Data Migration Service. Key steps in using AWS DMS. Three major phases of an AWS DMS migration task. Approaches to target schema creation in DMS. DMS Fleet Advisor in detail, DMS schema conversion in detail, source endpoints for data migration, target endpoints for data migration. So this lecture would be a bit long because there are a lot of topics to be covered, and data migration is an important service. If you are involved in any kind of migration project and you have databases involved, so that this service will come in handy. And there are a lot of source databases and target databases. And there are a lot of options in terms of data migration, schema conversions and all. So let's get started. So what is AWS Data Migration Service? AWS DMS is a fully managed service that simplifies the process of migrating and replicating databases to AWS, ensuring a quick and secure transition. The source database remains fully operational during the migration process, minimizing downtime for applications that depend on the database. AWS DMS can access your existing databases, convert the data if necessary, and migrate it to and from the most widely used commercial and open source databases. AWS DMS supports both homogeneous migrations such as Oracle to Oracle and heterogeneous migrations between different databases like Oracle or Microsoft SQL Server to Amazon Aurora. With AWS DMS, you can set up continuous data replication from a supported source to a supported target, ensuring low latency and up-to-date information in your target database. So let's dig deeper and know more about the features and how we can simplify data migration with DMS. Data migration service enables users to discover their source data stores as the first step in the migration process. DMS assists in converting source schema to be compatible with the target database engine, ensuring smooth transition. With DMS, users can effortlessly migrate their data from source to target databases. DMS Fleet Advisor service collects data from on-premises databases and analytical servers, creating an inventory of servers, databases, and schemas that can be migrated to AWS Cloud. So this I'll be covering in detail in the next few slides. DMS schema conversion automatically assesses and converts source schema to a new target engine, streamlining the schema conversion process. Users can download the schema conversion tool to their local PC to convert source schema, which provides an alternative to the DMS schema conversion service. AWS DMS supports both one-time migrations and ongoing replications to keep sources and targets in sync, catering to various migration needs. As part of AWS Cloud, DMS offers cost efficiency, speed to market, security, flexibility, and enhancing, which enhances the overall data migration experience. So let's see what are the typical tasks that are involved in the migration project, and this is in sequence in order. So in a traditional solution, you need to perform capacity analysis, procure hardware and software, install and administer systems, test and debug the installation. AWS DMS automatically manages the deployment, management, and monitoring of all hardware and software needed for your migration. Your migration can be up and running within minutes of starting the DMS configuration process. With DMS, you can scale up or down your migration resources as needed to match your actual workload. For example, if you determine that you need additional storage, you can easily increase your allocated storage and restart your migration within minutes. Then DMS uses pay-as-you-go model, so you only pay for AWS DMS resources while you use them, which is opposed to traditional licensing models, which have upfront purchase cost and ongoing maintenance. DMS automatically manages all of your infrastructure that supports your migration servers, including hardware and software patching, and error reporting. DMS provides automatic failover. If your primary replication server fails for any reason, a backup replication server can take over with little or no interruption of service. DMS Fleet Advisor automatically inventories your data infrastructure. It creates reports that help you identify migration candidates and plan your migration. DMS Schema Conversion automatically assesses the complexity of your migration for your source data provider. It also converts database schema and code objects to a format compatible with the target database. DMS can help you switch to a modern, perhaps more cost-effective database engine than the one you are running now. So for example, DMS can help you take advantage of managed database services provided by, let's say, Amazon RDS, Relational Database Service, or Amazon Aurora. It can also help you to move managed data warehouse services provided by Amazon Redshift, NoSQL platforms like DynamoDB, or low-cost storage solutions like S3. Conversely, if you want to migrate away from old infrastructure, but you want to continue to use same database engine, DMS supports that also. DMS supports nearly all of today's most popular DBMS engine as source endpoints. So I'll be covering in a dedicated slide the source endpoints. DMS provides a broad coverage of available target engines. So this I will also be covering. You can migrate one from any of the supported data sources to any of the supported data targets. AWS DMS supports fully heterogeneous data migrations between the supported engines. And DMS ensures that your data migration is secure. Data at rest is encrypted with AWS Key Management Service, KMS encryption. During migration, you can use SSL to encrypt your in-flight data as it traverses from source to the target. So let's see high-level overview of database migration process. So first, to perform migration, DMS first connects to the source data stores, reads the source data, and formats it for consumption by the target data store. After formatting the data, DMS loads it into the target data store. The majority of migration process occurs in memory for optimal performance. In cases where transactions are large, some buffering to disk might be necessary. During the migration process, cached transactions and log files are written to disk for persistence and reliability. So key steps in using DMS service. The first step is to identify databases in your network environment that are good candidates for migration to AWS. DMS can automatically convert your source data schemas and most of the database code objects to a format compatible with target database. To facilitate the migration, you need to create a replication server in DMS. Define source and target endpoints that contain connection information about your data stores. Set up one or more migration tasks in AWS DMS to migrate data between the source and target data stores. So replication servers are EC2 instances which are there. So if it's a one-time migration, you can keep it running for till the migration is finished, or it can be if you are ongoing, you have to keep it running for a longer duration. So this will just so first time it will connect and it will migrate the data, and ongoing you have to keep it running. So it will just find the changed deltas and it will continue to update the target databases. So three major phases of DMS migration tasks. First, during this phase, so first phase is full load, which is migration of existing data, and during this phase, existing data from the source data store is moved to the target data store, and DMS loads data from tables on the source to tables on the target. While the full load is in progress, any changes made to the tables being loaded are cached on the replication server. Once the full load for a table is complete, AWS DMS begins applying these cache changes. So your source tables, it will pick up and then let's say it takes 1 hour, still the changes are being applied to the source. It will cache those transactions and will apply it to the target tables later. After the full load and cache changes are applied, AWS DMS starts collecting changes as transactions for ongoing replication. So initially there may be a backlog of transactions causing some lag between the source and target databases, but eventually the migration reaches a steady state. So approaches to target schema creation in DMS. So first one is a minimalistic approach. You create only the necessary objects, and with this approach, DMS creates only the objects required to efficiently migrate the data, such as tables, primary keys and some unique indexes, other objects are not created. Second approach is DMS schema conversion. Automatically converts schema and code objects. So you can use DMS schema conversion within the AWS DMS to automatically convert your source database schemas and most of the code objects, which are tables, views, stored procedures, functions, data types, synonyms, etc., to a format compatible with the target database. And last one is manual conversion for unsupported objects. So any objects that DMS schema conversion cannot convert automatically are clearly marked, and you can convert these objects manually to complete the migration. Okay, now I will be covering important service DMS Fleet Advisor in detail. So this is an important component within DMS service. So DMS Fleet Advisor enables users to collect valuable insights into their data infrastructure by gathering metadata and performance metrics from various database environments. The service collects data from on-premises databases and analytical servers from one or more central locations, eliminating the need to install the tool on every computer. So this is for huge infrastructure where you have many databases. So you don't have to go and install on every computer or every database. You install it centrally and it will do the discovery for you. Currently, DMS Fleet Advisor supports the discovery and metrics collection for popular database platforms, including Microsoft SQL Server, MySQL, Oracle, and PostgreSQL. Based on the data discovered from the network, so it works at the network level, users can build an inventory that defines the list of database servers for additional data collection and analysis. After AWS DMS collects information about servers, databases, and schemas, users can analyze the feasibility of their intended database migrations. For databases in the inventory that are planned for migration to the AWS cloud, DMS Fleet Advisor generates right-sized target recommendations based on the collected matrix and preferred settings. So this service is not only finding out and discovering the database types, it is also collecting metrics and will guide you or advise you in terms of how much CPU memory, what database engines and all are required. So basically helping you right size the target databases, and it will also give you the preferred settings for the target databases. So it will figure out what are the source settings and it will guide you and advise you what should be the target settings for your databases. Once DMS Fleet Advisor generates recommendations, users can view detailed information for each target database configuration to aid in the migration planning. An organization's database engineers and administrators can leverage DMS Fleet Advisor target recommendations to plan the migration of their on-premises databases to AWS. Users can explore different available migration options and export the recommendations into the AWS pricing calculator to further optimize cost associated with the migration process. Okay, next important component is DMS schema conversion, which is in detail. So this is for heterogeneous migrations from one database engine to the another. Use DMS schema conversion to evaluate the complexity of your database migration based on your source data provider, enabling better planning and preparation. DMS schema conversion automatically converts your source database schemas and code objects to a format compatible with target database. Once the schema and code objects are converted, you can apply the converted code directly to your target database. So these database objects can be many. So in this diagram I have tables, views, stored procedures, function, data types, synonyms. So this is a representative list. So depending on the database engine, there can be more database objects that this service has to consider. DMS schema conversion automatically handles the conversion of various database elements, including tables, which I talked about, views, stored procedures, functions, data types, synonyms. Any database objects that DMS schema conversion cannot convert automatically are clearly marked, making it easy to identify which elements require manual intervention. To finalize the migration, you can manually convert any remaining objects that were not automatically converted. there are three key components. One is instance profiles, data providers, and migration projects. So first one is instance profiles. So this is for the replication server where the project will be running. So first one is EC2 instance profile, which will specify network and security settings. Then you have data providers, which will be storing database connection credentials. And thirdly, migration projects, which contains data providers, an instance profile, and migration rules, which work together to design an conversion process. So this is the list is indicative of the source databases or endpoints for data migration. So please refer the documentation. So I'll just quickly say which all database engines are included. So Oracle, Microsoft SQL Server, MySQL, MariaDB, PostgreSQL, MongoDB, SAP, SAP, IBM DB2, IBM DB2 for ZOS, cloud databases like this. So you would have seen this also include Azure databases also, Microsoft Azure SQL database, Azure MySQL flexible server, and you have Google cloud databases as well, and Amazon databases also. So from one Amazon database to another type, which may not be Amazon or some other, also is possible. So these are the source, and similarly the target endpoints for data migration can be any of these: Oracle, Microsoft SQL Server, MySQL, MariaDB, PostgreSQL, SAP, Redis, IBM DB2, and Amazon databases. So these can be the target databases. So in case you want to modernize your application, then Apache Kafka and Babelfish. So these are but this list is not indicative, not exhaustive. It's just to give you an idea that what all is possible. And that's all. Thanks for watching.